and DD. We're down here in Seabrook in 09 summer, having a good time.
This isn't one of my guitars. This is one of Rocky Hill's guitars. It supposedly has a direct link, possibly, to old blues cat.
Now slow down, TT. For those of y'all that don't know, Hurricane Ike just came and wiped us out down here in the Gulf Coast, and this belonged to famous around here, Rocky Hill, brother to Dusty Hill.
From ZZ Top.
From legendary international ZZ Top. This is one of his prized possessions that he got from a long chain of events, and this is where you're picking off. Where did you get it from?
This, I'm a steward of this guitar temporarily. I do not own this guitar. This guitar is to be taken care of. What do you say we do something?
Let's do something. Well, if we're talking about them, how about... Swamp Blues. Tim here is a graduate from GIT, so I'm only enthusiast, but he can break down what I'm showing you right here. So tell me what these chords are. We're in the key of G. So what Gibbons does to McNasty is goes using breakdown to power chords. So it looks really easy, but that's to the untrained eye. This is really simplistic genius, efficiency of movement. You make a lot more noise if you go.
Right. Basically what we're talking about is we're talking about a blues riff that's based on a G dominant 7 chords. Primarily you're going to go G, C, and D are your primary chords in that. And normally a chord would have what's called a regular third, but for a blues sound you drop that third a half step, which would be the same as going, or there's your blues note. So you play against a G chord, here's your regular third, here's your blues third. Pretty simplistic like that. If you play that drop chord, that drop third against a regular G chord, it's going to sound bluesy. And that's what Texas blues is all about.
Right on. And putting some power on it. Some of that's just your selections, and we're going to do some tours later on and other trips about equipment and what have you. But I mean, a lot of what people like is the sound and what have you. So it is your selection of notes. But it does come down to feel, and that's just putting your time in with your instrument, and, you know, getting a feel for it. We just did a break on one of them solos.
David just did for you there is he took some basic blues riffs and moved them down by several chords. So what you have is a blues riff you start out, I believe is, we'll just start out, for example, if you do it in D, move it down to C, or B, I'm sorry, I was in C, now down to B flat. Same riff, you moved it down, now back to G. Basically what I just did with those notes, I just went.
Simplify what you're doing with your chord selections to make your own systems. But what comes down to sounding pretty wicked is, again, we can't discount practicing, you know. So this is where getting you some mean vibrato going, you know, like getting you some pinch harmonics, some pings. Just learning your instrument.
Pinch harmonic.
Okay. Everybody's a little different, and this is where it comes down to practice, but essentially what you're doing is when you strike the string, simultaneously you're ripping your thumb across it. So let's get some sound on here. Now it's easier to do if you got humbuckers and on the lead pickup, on the bridge pickup, but if you get proficient, you can do them anywhere, or even without your finger, without your pick. It's just again, the thumb simultaneously going. It's tricks from the electronics. It's nothing we've done as guitarists. We just learn how to maximize our instruments, you know.
What David needs to help you out with there also is, in addition to the harmonic, what amplifies it and makes it a whole lot better is if you have some nice distortion.
Right.
Some nice overdrive on that note.
Right. So
show them what it sounds like without the overdrive.
Here, without it, almost sounds like a mistake. The things you can do with different channels and settings are different, and likewise they don't sound as good when you want things to resonate out. There's overkill versus sounds very nice. So that's learning your tools and your techniques. Okay.
Without the aid of distortion or overdrive,
we're going to need to be able to plug
you get
in.
a cleaner sound like this. What you have there is you just have one single neck pickup. Now if I were to overdrive it, we might end up with a problem. Let's give it a shot. Interesting.
Each has their own problems. Learning to control noise with distortion, or learning how to get more oomph out of your clean channels, or you know, you can't be a master of all trades. You can do good in a few, but you know, work on what you like, learn what you like, and sky's the limit.
What David and I both have are playing here today, so we both are playing guitars that have single coil pickups. You notice this is one little bar here, and he's got one little bar in the back. Now that's called your neck pickup, and that's called your bridge pickup. Your bridge pickup's what gives you that twanging sound. The neck pickup makes it a little bit more mellow.
Especially on tellies, you know, every guitar is a little different, but as a general rule, single coils are more twangy and barky, and humbuckers have more sustain and are fuller.
Now, what you also get with your humbuckers, you get less feedback. That was the original idea of the humbucking pickup, where you have two coils sitting side by side that cancel out the noise.
Yeah. But once they came into modern times, they learned they could do other things with them. more sustain and what have you. So, well, since you brought that up, let's just do something that's specific to single coil and something to resonate out. So show me something cool on single coil, getting her to bark and bitch.
Lots of things with single coils. If this were a humbucker, it would sound smoother. It would sustain more, just like David said. The way his guitar is set up, this guitar is not really designed to do a whole lot of singing. We strung it with some lighter gauge strings to make it easier to bend strings. But this guitar is more designed to sound like a rhythm instrument or a jazz instrument.